If you're gearing up for a big competitive exam, you're probably worried about failing. But are you worried about your daily habits? What about your screen time? Or that comfort zone you just won't leave? Today, we're diving into some really tough truths from Dr. Anuj Pichel, things you might not want to hear, but you absolutely need to. Let's get right into it.
So, let's just start with the biggest question you can ask yourself right now. Take a hard look at your daily routine. I'm talking about the procrastination, the endless scrolling, all those little excuses you tell yourself. Do those habits, do they really line up with that massive goal you've set for yourself? And that leads us to this quote from Dr. Pichel, which is, wow, incredibly direct. Look, this isn't about being mean. It's about being brutally honest with yourself. If there's a huge gap between what you say you want and what you actually do every day, the exam is going to see right through it. The whole system is built to reward disciplined action, not just wishful thinking. Okay, this brings us to our first brutal truth. When it comes to these super competitive exams, there's just no middle ground. Giving 20% effort, or even 80% effort, it's pretty much the same as giving zero. You are either all in, or, I'm sorry to say, you're already out of the race. Now, just to give you an idea of the scale we're talking about, let's use the NEET medical entrance exam as an example. You've got over 2 million people applying for, what, around 30,000 government seats? I mean, those numbers are just staggering. They paint a very, very clear picture of how tiny the margin for error really is. But here's the thing. Here's how you should think about that massive number. You're not actually competing against all 2.2 million applicants. No way. Your real competition is a much smaller group, maybe 50,000 people, tops, who are absolutely dead serious. These are the ones who are locked in, who've sacrificed the fun stuff, and who are giving it everything they've got every single day. If you're not in that group, you're not really in the game. All right, let's move on to the next truth, and this one can be a tough pill to swallow. The system, and honestly the world, it doesn't grade you on how hard you tried. It only, and I mean only, cares about the final score you get. It's all about the result, not the intention. So what this really means is all that hard work, the sacrifices, the sleepless nights, they are totally necessary, don't get me wrong, but they're just the ingredients. They're not the final product. The only thing that anyone recognizes is the result. Your effort is just the ticket that gets you into the game. The result is what determines if you win or lose. And this little story illustrates the point perfectly. Let's imagine two students. You've got person A, who's balanced. They play sports, have a social life, they study, and they get selected. Then you have person B. They sacrifice everything. It's just study, study, study. They give it 100%. And for whatever reason, they don't get selected. So to the outside world, what's the story? Well, person A is a success and person B is a failure. That's it. That's the end of the story. Nobody's going to ask person B about their sacrifices or how many all-nighters they pulled. The world just looks at the final scoreboard. It's harsh, I know, but understanding that is so important for focusing on what actually gets results. Now, for the people who do succeed, Dr. Pichel points out there's another truth waiting just around the corner. Cracking this one exam, it feels like the finish line, right? But in reality, it's just the starting gun for a much, much longer race. I mean, just look at the medical field again. The NEET UG exam, that's just step one. After that, you've got 5 brutal years of MBBS, then a totally draining internship, then another ridiculously hard exam, the NEET PG, and then years of residency. The grind never stops. It just changes shape. This brings us to a hot topic, taking a drop year. So, according to Dr. Pichel, taking a drop year is only really justified under one condition. If you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, with 100% honesty, I did not give it my all last time. That drop year then becomes your one shot to fix that, to go all in and see what you're really capable of. But here's the trap. Taking drop year after drop year, it can become this false sense of security. You feel like you're working toward a goal, but really, you might just be burning through the best years of your life, stuck in a loop and not really moving forward. If you already gave your absolute best and it didn't work out, doing the exact same thing again probably won't get you a different result. And that all leads to what is probably the most important truth of all. After all this intensity, all this pressure, we have to zoom out. This one single exam, it is not your entire life. It feels like it is right now, I get it. But it's so important to keep a bigger perspective. Because failing to get a top rank is not the end of your story. Not even close. We live in an age where if you're good at literally anything, you can build a successful life around it. Our society doesn't just need more doctors and engineers. We desperately need good politicians, journalists, artists, pilots, you name it. Every job has value. I really want you to hear this. Maybe your unique talents, your true passions, they lie somewhere else entirely. Not clearing one specific exam doesn't make you a failure. It might just be a signpost pointing you toward a path where you can really shine and make your mark on the world. So, we'll end with this final question for you to think about. In this relentless chase for a number on a piece of paper, please don't lose sight of the bigger picture. The real goal isn't just to get a rank, it's to build a happy, fulfilling, meaningful life. Really think about that.